Hi, I'm Rob Waddington. I'm a professional guide and instructor here on Rutland Water, the largest and I believe probably the finest still water trout fishing in the UK. Now then, I'm going to show you a fly today. I'm going to tie a buzzer. Now, of all the food items that are in this lake, the buzzer is probably the most popular for the trout. It makes up about 70% of any trout's diet. So it's probably one of the most important flies you could fish. Okay, so I'm starting off with, this is a B175 hook size 10. Now, you know, we can actually match the size of the buzzer. We can go down to a 14, 16 even, 12, 10, or even a big size 8, depending on the size of the buzzers that are hatching. Buzzer is a chironomid midge and it's present in any still water in the world basically. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to tie the thread into the head here and wrap it round and wrap it over itself so it's actually tied in. This is quite a fine thread. This is a 140 gauge thread, if that means anything to you, but it's quite a fine thread, and I'm using the tag here to tie along so it's actually keeping the thread and the turns close to each previous turn. So you get a nice even body. It's very important to get a nice slim profile on this buzzer. I'm going to go around down to about there and snip off this end here. Okay, I'm tying this buzzer on a straight hook, you can see the B175, because buzzers actually move like this, so we can tie them at the straight stage, but sometimes it's nice to tie them on a curved hook, B110 or a grub hook. But this one today I'm doing on a straight hook. Now the buzzer has got a very slim segmented body, so I'm ready to tie the body in. A few ways of doing this. I like to use these stripped peacock quill. You can do this yourself. You can get a peacock herl and you can scrape it off with your thumb, or you can rub the fur off, the fibres off with a rubber. I'm a bit ham-fisted, so I kind of buy these ready-made. So I'm going to tie this in. And there we go. And then I'm going to go back to the top of the body. I'm going to just get rid of this. You see how delicate that peacock herl is. Try and get this body very thin, touching turns if you can. We don't want any big lumps. Nice slim body. And get that out of the way there. Now then. The good thing about the peacock herl, the peacock quill, the stripped peacock quill, it's actually got two tones in it. It goes from light to dark. I'm using a natural peacock herl, and if I wrap this around the body, this is quite tricky. Nice and even. It actually creates that segmented body that we're after. And I'm shielding this with my fingers, but I don't want this to unravel, because I'll have to start again. And I'm an average fly tyer, you know, with hands like sausages, so if I can do this, anybody can do it. Got about 3/4 of the way up, and I'm just going to tie that in. There we are. Now for the next bit is the head. Now it's got a bit of bulbous head, so I'm just going to tie. There's a bit of a loose end there of the peacock. I'm just going to get rid of this. I'm just going to build up the head with some layers of thread. Okay, I'm just tying a little bit of a head, not so much, but there is a bit of a bulbous head on the buzzer. But now at this stage I'm going to tie in the wing buds. Now the wing buds on the buzzer are these immature, not fully formed wings, and they actually glow bright orange on either side of the head there. And it's a target for the trout. I think it's the blood or whatever in it that creates this deep orange colour. And so I'm going to use these goose biots. They're called goose biots. You can buy them. These are dyed sunburst orange. There's a slight tone to them. I love these things, but you don't have to use these. I'll show you some other ideas later that we can tie. Just going to pick out 2 here. Split them. Quite delicate stuff. Now then, there's a concave shiny bit and there's a convex dull bit. I'm going to tie it facing the back with the concave bit of the goose biot facing the body of the fly to start with. There's one, and the other one. The other side, pinch that against the body. And tie that in. Now this is where I can build up more of a head now. 2 or 3 layers of this black tying thread. Just to give it that head shape there. Now then, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these goose biots and bring them over the head here. Pull them together. Actually, I'm going to build a bit of a bigger head on there. So I'm an average fly tyer. You know, you can add your own things. There are special ways to tie these flies, but the fish don't know that. And if it doesn't look right to you, just add a bit more. That's what I've just done. Add a bit more thread there. Okay, now bring those. I'm actually going to meet them at the top of the head there. Pinch them together, tie them in. Now then, I should be able to just snap these off. There we go. And, you know, simple fly, and it's nearly there. I'm just going to tie it off, whip it through. Nice neat head. Tighten it up. Tie that off. Now that's the tying part finished. But there's the bits that we do next that make it rather special. Okay, what we're going to do now is the super glue bit. We're going to coat this in super glue. It hardens it, it gives it a shine, puts a little bit of weight to it, but it's only going to be the first coat. It's going to be, and then we're going to varnish it afterwards. So I'm going to use Zappa Gap super glue, very quick drying, and it dries clear. That's the most important thing of this. So I don't want any drips on these, so I've got a little device here which is going to spin this fly around. So let me put the super glue on first. I don't want to put too much, so I'm going to put a little drop on there. Get a little toothpick. Lovely and shiny. That just brings it alive. And because I don't want it to dry unevenly, I'll turn this little device on and it spins it round. Looking better already. So this is where you have a glass of beer, wait for it to dry, and wait for the next stage. Okay, the super glue's dried now, so the next stage is we've got to varnish it. Clear varnish. Just had a look in my makeup cupboard. And no, Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails. It's clear, it's hard, and it's perfect. And it even works on the flies. Here we go. I'm going to put a fair bit on. I'm going to use the actual brush in the holder here, because this little device, this spinning device, is going to stop it drying with globules. So here we go. I'm going to put a little big dollop on there. Big dollop on there, and then turn that round. Big dollop on the underneath. Just going to smooth that to the head a bit. And we wait for that to dry. Okay, now we've got to wait for this fly to dry, the first coat to dry. I'm going to put 4 coats of varnish on it, so it's going to be really clear and very hard. While we're waiting for that to dry, let me just show you some other buzzers we've got here. The interesting thing about buzzers is that they all start life as a little red bloodworm in the bottom. This is the larva stage, and then when the water warms up a little bit, they change to the buzzer. And the buzzer's like chocolate to trout, you know. The trout will love it, and they just wriggle to the surface. But they all start as a red bloodworm. You never know what colour nature's going to kick out. You can get black buzzers, green, claret, brown, grey, all sorts of different colours. So we've got to make sure that we have a selection of different colours in our fly box. And you can see I've got some nice olive green ones here, some grey buzzers, black buzzers. And some of these have got a little bit of extra thing in it. You don't have, fly tying's not boring. You can add a little bit of extra flash, a little bit of UV, a little bit of holographic, trying to make your buzzer stand out from the natural. A little bit of bling, bit of here I am, come and get me. And believe me, you know, every trout in the world will loves these buzzers. And if you know about buzzers and buzzer fishing, buzzer fly tying, you can catch fish anywhere in the world, because any still water in the world has buzzers in it. A lake, pond, reservoir like this out here. Now, you know, you've seen me tying the wing buds with these goose biots. These are quite expensive things and quite tricky to tie in. You don't need to. What about this? Can you guess what that orange is? Eh? What about a little sliver of a crisp packet? Mini cheddars, spicy knickknacks, anything the original chicken. Was it Golden Wonder roast chicken? Orange. Little sliver of this tied in the same way as we tied the goose biots, and then it becomes a crisp packet buzzer.